We will wait like 1-2 minutes, okay? Dimitris?
Yeah. Better if we do, yeah.
After it's online, like 1 minute. And then I will start.
Sir, please start.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We will be waiting just a couple of moments for more people to join our webinar. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yanis Ben Mamar. I am the Global Business Unit for Dermal in Biotech, and thank you for joining us today for this webinar. We are very pleased to welcome Mr. Dimitris Vrachnos. Dimitris is the founder of Up My Business Agency. He is a medical aesthetic coach with over 20 years experience in aesthetics and a global trainer for medical aesthetics professional in Europe and Middle East. Today, Dimitris will be sharing with us the imperatives related to COVID-19, how to connect with your patients during these times of crisis, and how to be prepared for the post-COVID-19 times. With that, I ask that you give your full attention to Dimitris and help me in welcoming him. Dimitris, just a technical part. At the end of the webinar, we will be sharing the question of the audience with you. So if any questions comes, I will be at the end of the webinar assessing and asking the question on behalf of the audience. Thank you very much, Dimitris. The word's on you.
Thank you very much, Yanis, and welcome everybody. It's a great pleasure to be here today. This webinar is offered to you from the collaboration of Biotech Healthcare Group and Up My Business Coaching Agency. Let's start saying a few words about these two collaborators. Biotech Healthcare Group is a global player with presence in healthcare domain since 1999. With a mission to create a global structure which serves the doctors, Biotech brings great products to patients, and through this momentum, innovate drugs and devices for diseases which have no cure. We are all in the medical aesthetics field. So in this field, Biotech is producing and distributing in many countries all around the world Gloderm hyaluronic acid range. This range consists of products that can cover the needs of the face, whether we talk about fine lines, lips refinement, deep wrinkles, or volume restoring. So actually all the parts of the face underneath. The specially produced hyaluronic acid gel is smooth and low cross-linked, and it offers a lifting of skin depressions. It restores the facial contours and fullness, and finally, it offers immediate aesthetic results that last. I am sure that Yanis and the representatives of the company in each country can give you much more details about the products and about their use. Before we start, I would also like to shortly introduce myself. So my name is Dimitris Vrachnos, and while spending more than 16 years working in the corporate environment, for some of the biggest players in the global industry, such as L'Oreal and Allergan, one thing that I immediately identified has been the importance of working with medical aesthetics professionals in a business setup with strategic imperatives in order to efficiently run the practices from the business perspective. So my inner drive, my passion to innovation and results, along with my 20 years of experience in medical aesthetics, have been my inspiration to create and found at my business consultancy agency. In our agency, our philosophy is to design and implement strategic plans adapted to the needs and meet the vision of our customers. And our approach is to make sure that every step on patient's journey is carefully designed and planned to make the touch points with the medical practice a unique experience. Along with my core business in coaching, I am also allocating a big amount of my time to the educational part. I love getting educated myself and always stay updated, as well as spending time with doctors in business training modules in Europe and Middle East. I have been blessed to work in several projects with the biggest players in the medical aesthetics industry, and the results were quite impressive. So in this context, I'm very happy for the collaboration with Biotech and the opportunity to be here with all of you today to share thoughts, knowledge, and experience. I always enjoy to start my presentation with a quote. And today, at the time that we are living, I couldn't find a better one than how Charles-Pierre Baudelaire, the French poet, the value of unknown to the shaping of the new. So he said that through the unknown, we will find the new, and he's very right. This reflects perfectly what is happening right now. We are all sailing in unmapped seas, and we will all be requested to adapt to the new normality, whatever this might mean. So in this context, I have put together my thoughts to describe how the approach to the new reality in medical aesthetics should be accomplished. So I would please ask you to keep notes while we're going through the slides. And at the end of the presentation, I will be more than happy to answer to any questions you might have. So we will have a session at the end of the presentation, and we can discuss about everything you want. Let's see about our road trip today. Our road trip today will start with a projection of what is happening right now and how this is affecting medical aesthetic businesses. We will talk about actions that should follow a certain path and be segmented in stages. Then we will describe how the decision during the typical patient journey is affected by the new reality and how to connect with our audience. People will still follow the known path, but the interaction in every step of this path needs to be adapted to the imperatives of today, and I will explain you what I mean with this. As we walk down the pathway, we will then talk about the next day for your business. So what should be your priorities, your concerns, and your plan. And finally, and before our question and answer session, we will discuss on some guidelines on how to strategically plan ahead. Point, we have to deal with what is happening right now, and we have to make it clear. Right now, what we're living is unique. It has nothing to do with yesterday, and probably we don't know tomorrow. So right now we have two concerns: the virus and the economical impact to expect from this pandemic situation. And we have to take both into consideration while we're planning and while we are preparing ourselves for the next day. While facing both the virus and the economy, we need to establish behaviors that stem the spread of the virus and work towards a situation in which most people can return to work, to and to their social life, what they used to do. To date, the only proven way of containing the virus is by enforcing significant lockdowns, disciplined physical distancing and testing, and contact tracing. So we don't have any kind of medication that will confront right now. So we have to face the truth. We have to be apart from each other. We all agree that our common goal must be to implement the best possible response to stop this spread of the virus. But at the same time, global and local leaders are also considering the economic impact of such measures. Financial analysts predict a tough future. Many businesses have stopped operating or have significantly reduced their activity. So the question is, for how long can this be viable? And since everything has changed, there is an uncertainty about tomorrow. We don't know what is happening. And this is what we focus about today. Behavioral protocols will surely be imposed for the next day, and this will influence medical aesthetics practices as well. So strict rules will officially be announced regarding all aspects of their tasks, movements, and behaviors to keep them and the patients safe. Every person working in a clinic must have passed a COVID-19 test and make sure that they're healthy. Patient appointments will follow a certain procedure with specific time slots. This will lead probably to the alteration of the capacity of each patient, of each practice, to accommodate a certain number of patients per day. So if you had the capacity, for example, of 50 patients per day, now with all the measures, you might go down to even 20 patients. So you have to adapt your whole strategy to this new reality. And finally, online consultation will soon be an alternative that many will adapt to respond to the new reality. So the question is, how can you work fast enough on these protocols to be able to comply with the health authorities and mitigate the fear of your patients, which is very important. And that should be the bet that you have to take. As we consider the scale of change that the COVID-19 has brought, we need to consider ways to start restructuring the business. How exactly this crisis evolves remains to be seen. We still don't know. But the 5 stages described in this slide offer medical aesthetic leaders a clear path to begin navigating to the new normal. Let's start. In the result stage, you need to determine the scale, pace, and depth of the changes that are required to be done in the business model of the practice. As a second step, you need to show resilience. Near-term issues of for liquidity and solvency are clearly paramount for your business right now, and I can totally understand this. But soon afterwards, each practice will need to act on a broader resilience plan to survive and to turn back to profitable balance, because this situation will not last forever. Then comes the return phase. Expect that returning your business to operational health after a severe shutdown is extremely challenging and demands for a thorough and well-organized plan. Reimagination stage follows. The expected shift in the preferences and expectations of your patient should reveal not just vulnerabilities, but also business opportunities. So get ready to be creative, get ready to identify them and make them part of your future. And finally, we come to the where your ultimate bet is to understand of which innovations, if adopted, permanently might provide substantially uplift to the business. So one thing we're certain of, the new normal will look unlike any of the years that have been passed. So as a leader, you are expected to do some serious thinking now. Moving on to the second part of our today's journey, let's talk about ways to connect with patients in times of crisis. Showing empathy for our patients is very, very, very important. We need to understand that the approach to patients should be very thoroughly designed and delivered in a way that we can really touch their concerns, their worries, and their expectations in ways much different than we used to do so. And if we succeed to that, we have a good chance to strengthen our relationship with them and build loyalty. And remember, it's all about loyalty. We have to make our patients keep returning to our practice. And we will discuss about this in a while in a more detailed way. What is happening right now? Right now, a big part of the patient journey is placed at home. Yes, everyone is staying at home. So this is where patients get the trigger messages for the initial thought of receiving a treatment. This is where they get more information about the procedure they're interested in. Home is where they seek for ways to virtually visit your practice and receive an online consultation on their concern. So everything is being done from home. So your doors may be closed, your physical doors, but obviously your lines of communication should be widely open. As patients surf through the internet and spend many hours in the social media, it is your time, their attention right now. So it is your unique chance to educate them on solutions they can benefit from with the latest treatment protocols. You can show leadership by driving the information and the messages published. And also you can establish your expertise in your scientific field. And as the audience is quite captive right now, your omnipresence can work in the beneficial way for all sides. You can virtually be in every channel of communication, the social media, with your website, even in a TV emission. So try to be present as much as possible. But do remember that misleading messages are everywhere, and people are looking for sound and unbiased information. Keep in mind that focusing in patients' loyalty is one of the key elements for each and every business in the medical aesthetics field. You're offering treatments with non-permanent results mainly, protocols with different treatments, and the single key behind your business success in all this field is the word repetition of services in regular timeframes. That is what brings you patients back to your practice again and again, and that is what generates your business. So, making your patients loyal to you and your services is of paramount importance for your growth. And now that they're being bombarded by messages from all directions, it is your responsibility to stay close to them and not let them forget you. Let's see how to do it. Loyal patients expect from you that your communication with your audience is a priority now. And there are some simple explanations why they expect this. Just because, first of all, they want to hear the news from the doctor they trust. It's you that they know, it's you that they want to listen to. They feel, by addressing to them, that you care about them. Also, don't forget that they're being bombarded by tons of fake news, and they just get confused on what to believe and what not to believe. Of course, at that moment, everybody's spending a lot of time in social media, and by being there, you establish yourself as an expert. So what I would suggest is you feed their social media wall with a bunch of things like useful information on what might be bothering them right now, on some answer to some frequently asked questions that you have already identified and received from your patients, some real facts based on your experience, or even some stories from your interaction with patients and their concerns that you already had. Make sure that all this, you do it in a direct way with no formalities or stiff words. Be open, be clear, and be close and approachable to them. It is also important that you keep taking care of your patients while staying at home. Stay in contact with your audience with tips on how to take care of their skin at home in simple steps, with smart ideas on how to best maintain the results of any treatment you have been offering to them until the time comes to have them back in your practice, and also ease their life by offering shipping services of skincare products that they usually buy from you. And of course, at the same time, let's not forget that people are more and more used to the digital approach. So you can offer online consultation services to your patients and ask them to contact you via, it can be via SMS and WhatsApp or Viber. You can also use the social media platforms, Facebook Messenger or Instagram. And obviously, you can provide them with your clinic, your practice email, and phone number that they can come in contact. Keep in mind that online consultation regulations may vary from country to country. So what I would strongly suggest is that you refrain from offering services that might get you into legal trouble in case something goes wrong. Make sure that you do your homework and you identify exactly what you are allowed to do and what you are not allowed to do in your country or your patient. Now that there have been changes to your daily schedule in your practice, you also need to make sure that you update your information in your website. So have some clear messages about the current status for your appointments, your compliance with the health and prevention measures provided by authorities, your timetable and everything. And if you offer online consultation possibilities, make sure that you highlight it How can someone reach you? By phone, WhatsApp, email, or any kind of special online platform that you might have built. It is a good, also it's a good way to appoint a person, a responsible person, for contact everything that they need to do. As you're running an healthcare business, do not forget to update also your Google My Business page. This is very important. Remember, Google My Business is the first touch with someone who types the name of your practice in Google. So they see the information about what is happening to your practice right now, what are the measures, what are the opening, the closing hours. So make sure that you review this Google information. And at this time, you need to edit your open and close status probably. Maybe point some special hours, some temporary closures, the business description that has any kind of new features like online consultations or any other additions that you have in your business. Make sure that you are updated. Facebook and Instagram. We know by now that social media are integral to a successful marketing strategy for our audience. So one way or another, everybody has been trying to be present in social media platforms with messages. But creating a winning strategy on the platform takes more than posting random content on your page. And be careful with this. Experts say that the content is the key, and it is true. This means that the content you publish is very important in order to touch the feelings of your audience and to talk on their needs and concerns. Even though we cannot describe the perfect post because there is no such thing like a perfect post, this reflects your character, your style, your brand. We also can keep some tips, some suggestions that can help us improve our awareness and our connection with the patients. So let's go over some useful tips to improve your awareness. You can use tags for additional reach. An excellent way to put your content in front of users is to tag others in your post. This is perfect for cross-promotion with business partners and collaborators. Just make sure that people tagged are okay with these people or businesses. Don't do it without asking them. You need to balance your stories and your promotions. Not every post you publish needs to revolve around selling, and this is very important. Users want to see less promotional content, especially right now, and more stories from the brand they trust and from the Google pages and from your page in the social media. So a good idea is to share photos, videos, and stories of you in action, of your staff, of your clinic, and of happy patients. Make them bond with you, make them feel close to you. Don't stress and don't do any kind of hard selling right now. It's not the moment right now to do this. Keep educating your audience. Establish your expertise, your experience, and connect with your audience. Talk to them about their concerns, educate them how to deal with them, and make them loyal to you. Say more with less. Consider this statistic for a second. This is something very impressive. I wanted to share it with you. You know that the average attention span is only 7 seconds. So it only takes 8 seconds to keep the attention focused. And on average, more of this, people read about 20 to 28% of the words you post. So pay special attention to the first 3 or 4 words and keep your message short. They will not go through reading a lot of words, a lot of paragraphs. Studies have shown that Facebook posts with less than 50 characters receive the most engagement. Make it short and make it worth it to read. If you have more to say, link them to your website. Don't forget that you use social media so that you can redirect people to your website. Don't make the mistake to cut off your website from your connection with social media with your audience. Probably you cannot have your full message in just a few words, which makes perfect sense. There's no problem on this. You can direct your audience to your website for more information. Moreover, social media are a consistent driver of referral traffic, and they're responsible for about 40% of the traffic sent to the website. So make good use of it. And offer your possibility to interact with your clinic and contact you by providing either a form to complete or a link to your contact page in your website. Always make sure that you track your results on a monthly basis to understand what works for you and what needs to be changed. There are some metrics even for the organic posts that you have in both Facebook and Instagram, so you can measure the likes, the sharing, the interaction with your audience. This is very important because while you're doing this analysis, you can understand how impactful is your campaign, how impactful are your posts, or what should be changed. It is also equally important to post according to a certain plan. I suggest that you build a calendar and plan with exact dates the post to be published for the following 30 days or even more. The seasonality of the skin needs is still there right now, yes, and summer is coming soon. So you could plan, for example, a series of posts for your audience on some of the below topics, such as how to transition your skincare routine from spring to summer, or the hair removal alternatives at home, or how to deal with acne until you return back to your regular laser treatment in the practice. Or even, it's always a good idea right now to talk about home remedies for dry hands. But what I want to stress here, do not overwhelm them with daily posts. Don't over-exaggerate. Respect the ratio of 2-3 posts per week, even 4. You don't need to do more. Either way, it takes a circle of 2 to 3 days for each post that you post in either Facebook or Instagram to do that circle and to go to all your followers. So you don't need to waste more posts by posting every day. And remember, your patients are still there, and sooner or later, the lockdown will be terminated. So make sure that you keep yourself in the back of their mind when time comes. Be there. Omnipresence is a key word right now. Sometimes we come to the question whether we should focus on Facebook or Instagram and what is best for our practice. The answer is that those platforms cater different kinds of users who behave differently. So talking about users' profile, Facebook has a variety of age ranges, while Instagram's user base is mostly made up by young people under 30, 35 years old. So your target audience defines a strategy. Facebook is for, let's say, older people over 30 years old, and Instagram targets a young audience focused on brand engagement and conversions, quick pictures, stories. If someone would ask me what I would suggest, obviously my suggestion is to use both. You can use Facebook first and then retarget with Instagram, or at the same time, you can engage in Instagram the followers and then convert them on Facebook users, on Facebook followers. Coming now to your core business, we all agree that for every established business, the greatest asset is the existing patient database. It is them who have made you what you are, and obviously it is them that you should mine first. So focus on this. Wherever I get any kind of questions of how to recruit new patients, the first thing I do during my coaching sessions, during my consultation, is that first of all, you have to mine your inheritance. And your inheritance in your practice is your existing database, your existing loyal patients. So you have to look after them. Recruiting new patients is awesome, but remember, it is imperative for your business to take all the necessary actions to personalize your communication with patients you really care. And personalization is a very key word because your word to them should not be generic. It should address to their concerns. So make sure that you keep them close to you now, and even more important, after this lockdown period ends. And a bit later on, we will discuss a bit of how to invite them back to your clinic. So now it is time to protect your active patients, the ones who trust you and they have been following you over the past months, the past years, and take some actions. I would suggest that if your clinic, your practice is still closed, take the opportunity to study and analyze your patient's database so that you identify your active patients going under various and repetitive procedures. Then you can come into personal contact with them. You can send them newsletters, personal texts, or even call them in person. Let them share their concerns with you on the results of the treatment they had, on the sessions postponed as your practice has been closed, on the repetition rate, and on what to do to maintain the results from home. There have been a lot of people that had injections with hyaluronic acid, and they see that the results are fading out. So they need to know how to take care of their skin right now to maintain a good result until they come back to get injected by you again. Remember, timing is bad now to contact people that have been unfaithful to you and your practice for more than 12 months. Don't do this mistake. Don't contact them. Reversely, it may seem to them like a desperate move to contact them and to ask them how they are, how they feel, if they are interested in some kind of offers. I am sure that every one of you has enough of your active patients that they can deal with. And let's go to the next day. The day will eventually come, if not here already. In some countries, like my country in Greece, the clinics are back to open. So the new reality will find yourself back in business. This is where you have to show resilience, creativity, and imagination to bring your patients back. This is very important. And to keep the same level of your services and your prices, and we will talk about prices in a while because it's very fundamental. But also, it is very important, and this should be your starting point, to mitigate your patients' fears and to make them feel safe when they visit your clinic. How to do this? For patients now, remember, feeling safe is their #1 priority. Nobody will care about offers and prices if they don't feel safe in your practice. And yes, patients will want to return to their treatment routine and enjoy the results you can offer them. But keep in mind that despite pent-up demand, and this is a rule, patients' response may lag as confidence needs to develop. They don't still feel very confident. So now it is your chance to start upping the game for your brand. And when I say it's upping the game, means that you have to use your channels of communication and demonstrate full compliance with the health guidance provided by the authorities for the social distancing, for the sanitation, for staff policies, and obviously for ongoing changes in practices. You have to reassure your patients that they are safe with you. Once again, right now, every discussion about offers, prices, and discounts will hit the wall if your patients do not feel safe. So make sure that you follow the proper steps, and you will have plenty of time to go into your marketing plans as long as you reassure them that they're safe visiting you. So after making sure about the safe environment you're offering, prepare yourself for the comeback by actually reigniting your marketing strategy. You can forget the traditional marketing plan you have been used to work with. Forget everything. Now we are in a different situation. More than ever before, you have to unfold all your creative ideas on how to relaunch your business, because this is actually what you're doing. So be prepared to offer them quick treatments with fast results, new protocols with combination of services, payment options and incentives, treatment plans with more than one kind of treatment, and focus on hot topics right now. Hot topics right now is seasonal topics such as skin rejuvenation, body treatments. I'm sure that cellulite is #1 concern for most women right now, and hair removal. Make sure that you address their needs. It doesn't matter what you want to promote. What matters is that you respond to your patients' concerns. But be careful, and this is very important. I strongly suggest that you avoid any devaluing for your offered treatments. In the mind of everyone, lowering treatment prices can signify maybe that you are desperate to attract patients to your practice, that you indirectly accept that you have been cheating your patients actually for all those years, as you have been offering your services in a very expensive price. So this can cause the loss of your credibility over the long-time patients. And also you can, by doing this, you can devalue your expertise and your experience. And I'm sure that you don't want any of this to happen. So make sure that you don't change the prices, your price list. Instead of that, give them the reason to visit you again while avoiding any kind of discussion about price. So while you're promoting your practice, you can focus on other things like your experience, your training credentials, the quality of the products and devices that you're using to treat them, the patient safety first motto, and obviously your results. These are things, these are pillars that you can stand on and make the matter about the price very insignificant to the mind of your patient. Keep in mind that a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. So make good use of your before-after photos. And especially if we are talking about facial treatments, this is a great weapon that you have to use it. You have to show your results on injecting lips, nasolabial fluid, or wherever else in the face with hyaluronic acid. Instead of this devaluing, you can also offer alternatives packages to your patients. In that way, you will not devalue your main treatment and you will offer them decent results in lower cost if they decide to go for it. So the key phrase here is high value in low cost. People perceive value much more important than the cost. So you can offer efficient treatments with low cost consumables as an alternative, or you can promote smart combination of treatments that offer good results. Also, remember that people will seek for fast results with less sessions right now. So this is also something that you should consider while building those protocols. Either it can be injectables or laser treatments or whatever else treatment you are offering. Another idea could be to offer them some prepayment incentives, such as installments with a credit card, to ease up the payment procedure and to make the cost a bit lighter for them. And also voucher strategy is another option that you might consider offering. As a tip, and this is very important, you have to know your numbers. Make sure that you understand what is happening to your business by numbers and focus on higher margin procedures. So this can be done by identifying the most profitable treatments with less time per session needed, and make sure that you prioritize it in your booking schedule and maybe book over 60 or 70% of your capacity with those ones. So at the end of the day, even if you have less number of patients, you can still make a good turnover that will keep you going. Last but not least, you should invite back your loyal patients in style. Build a wholehearted invitation strategy for your VIP patients, for your good patients. Find ways to tell them how happy you are to have them back in your practice. You can do it by several ways. You can build for them bespoke treatment plans tailor-made for their needs, which shows them how much you care for them. You can offer them complimentary sessions for better results in treatment protocols they have already paid for. You can also induce a membership program with rewarding benefits. And obviously you can use gift cards and vouchers to show them your gratitude. Moreover, make sure that there will be an available time slot for them to have their treatments soon after they request it. So do not overbook your schedule, leaving them outside. It will be very frustrating from them to ask for their appointment and get a reply from you or from your front desk that there is no appointment available for the following 2 or 3 weeks. You have to take care of them and you have to make them your priority in your business, because it's them who will come back, it's them who will be the ambassador for your brand, and it's them who will build up your business. The last part of our discussion will be on some business guidelines and suggestions on how to plan ahead. And then we will go to the question and answer part. So, in times of extreme uncertainty, you should start by developing a clear baseline of your company's last known position. It is important that you take into consideration three main areas: your financial assumptions, your ongoing initiatives in your business, and your strategic choices, what you choose to do over the next days, the next month, and the following years. Planning will help you determine what will be the driver in your practice for your financial performance, what will lead the way. And the next task is to list the big ongoing initiatives, starting with your biggest project. For example, sustain a price premium, keep investing in new devices, treatments, or introduce a new business line in your practice. This could also be an option. Doing so, you will have a clear starting picture and you will know where to focus on. And having a clear picture is very important right now because you are getting bombarded by a lot of messages from all around the market. So make sure that you follow your own unique. Planning your next steps should come from a clear direction, as I told you, of what you have in your mind. So you need to decide on your response, your personal response to the evolving situation. So depending on your decision, you can either find yourself in a long and difficult period of slow rebuilding and trying, or you can find yourself with near-term opportunities in business strategic moves and innovation. To be successful on this, you have to make sure that you soon realize what remains the same and what changes. There are not a lot of things that remain the same right now, and you have to identify this and acknowledge this very fast. Then it is up to you to reorganize your whole structure, your expenses, your investments, maybe your headcount, and your to create a leaner scheme. Yes, a better new reality. You might even need to consider shifting your business model towards another direction. Maybe you should now accelerate your investments in a more digital business-oriented model, or maybe offering online consultation services could be an option right now, not only to reduce your physical footprint expenses and your expenses for the clinic, but also see it as a side opportunity, which is very important. You can reach unmapped territories for your business and reach patients from other cities or even from other countries by online consultation. So these are decisions you will need to take, and nobody can replace your experience and your intuition. So trust yourself, stop listening to others, and focus on what you really want to achieve, what you really want to do with your business. Remember that you also need to be adaptive and determine actions and strategic moves that are robust across scenarios. And this is very important. In a world of extreme uncertainty that we're living right now, a rigid plan will not be right for long. Probably it will fail. So we have to move and to do all the deviations that we need. So think about building a portfolio of strategic moves that will perform relatively well as a collective across all likely scenarios, even if every move is not a winner. Yes, start with your list of existing initiatives. Those were in your mind before the crisis. Don't abandon the ideas that you have. You just need to readjust them. Then scan your business environment for opportunities and threats before deciding which initiative to go for and which new ones to add. And finally, ensure that the moves on each topic are thoroughly connected and considered to your strategy. Make a strategy and build up the whole move and the whole actions around this strategy. This is very important that you keep one strategy ahead. As a closing statement, remember, it isn't about starting with a perfect plan. It is about being on the fastest improvement trajectory, and this is very important. In a fast-moving world, that will matter most is as even a great plan will become obsolete, and this is very important. Prepare to do the deviations, prepare for changes. So before going into the question and answer session, let's recap on the main. Our starting point is that COVID-19 has engendered a big scale of changes in all aspects. In this environment, clinics and professionals in the medical aesthetics field need to plan and adapt new behavioral protocols to meet the imperatives of today. There is a clear pathway in 5 stages to begin navigating to the next normal. And there will be challenges and opportunities and this path for those who notice trends and for those who are willing to act fast and to adapt. Also remember that your audience is more receptive than ever before to your messages, and they seek for unbiased information. Approach them, and omnipresence should be also your focus. You also need to create content for your social media, focusing on how to help people go through this tough period. No hard selling. Use the opportunity given to showcase your expertise, to offer skincare tips, suggest on home remedies, and to be close to them and to their concerns. Very important, do alleviate fears and insecurity on health issues. Make your practice a safe place to be. Now it's time to make your imagination the leading vehicle and reignite your marketing strategy. Do not devalue, remember it's imperative, do not devalue your services, be creative and offer perceived value alternatives. Find ways to invite your VIP customers back in style and make tailor-made approach for them and bespoke treatment plans. Acquire a realistic view of where you stand and identify the changes that they're coming. And last but not least, now it is your time to restructure your business, be flexible and consistent to your actions. So that was about it. I sure hope that you found this presentation useful for you. Please feel free to share any thoughts or questions you might have in the chat room right now, or use my email address to send me an email. I don't know, Yanni, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much, Dimitris, for this very exciting presentation. I believe and I'm very sure that for all our audience, they will find a lot of interesting points and tips and tricks on how to make their practices more efficient in the times coming after the COVID-19. We have a couple of questions from the audience, so let me just read the first one coming from Victoria. And the question is, should I charge for online consultations?
This depends if the online consultation is a service that you are offering right now because your clinic is not open. I would suggest that you refrain from charging. But if you start a business in online consultation, meaning that you build a platform for online consultation, then it's a new service, it's a new business unit for your practice, and definitely, yes, you have to have a fee for this.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for this. We have another question coming from Robert. And the question is, should we trust the patient when we are doing online consultation on coming to our clinic after doing this consultation?
From what I understand, the question is that maybe they get the online consultation and they're not coming back to the clinic. So there are two groups of patients. There are those who will be covered with the online consultation, and this is a fact, so they will not come. And there are the others that you will have them, as you establish your expertise, you will have them in the clinic for some extra exams or for taking other treatments. So I wouldn't pose the online consultation out of fear that I might lose some patients, because this can work vice versa. And more of this, right now, let's keep in mind that people are still scared. They're still afraid of going out, and we have to respect this, but at the same time, we have to be there for them. So right now, it's not the time to build new patients in the hard way, but it's a time to show our expertise, to show that we are there for them. And so, yes, I would go for the online consultation, even if this means that I might lose a percentage of my patients coming back to my probably those who will not come, by the way, I think they are patients that wouldn't come in the clinic anyway, because I don't think that the patient that trusts you and goes to the online consultation for now and it is very temporary just because they don't feel safe yet to come to your clinic. I don't think that when time goes back to normal, they will not keep coming to your clinic again.
Very true. So I believe that our time has come to an end. And again, Dimitris, I would like to thank you for this very nice presentation. And I would like to thank.
If I have, do I have 1 minute, Yanis?
Of course, please.
Okay,
go ahead.
I just wanted to let's keep all in mind that no one was prepared for this, and no one knows the best way to react. So there is no hard rules. Yes. Moreover, many speculations are daily published about the new normal and how this will be. In my opinion, no one can be quite sure what will happen. But for one thing I am sure of, because I'm 20 years in this business, the medical aesthetic business is an industry that will be affected less than the majority of all other industries. And it is connected to the well-being of our physical appearance and our soul, which is very important. So I would suggest, and I would ask for everybody to stay on the positive side and do our best to make our patients feel comfortable, safe in our practices, and value their trust. This is very important. Let's keep the positive spirit, because we are the thought leaders. So if they get from you the positive spirit, then they will feel safe and they will keep on doing their treatment routines. Thank you very much.
Absolutely agree with you. And I think that being positive is very important, especially in these times. And we hope and believe that the situation will pass very, very soon and we will come back to normal. So again, thank you very much, Dimitris, for this presentation, and thank
you very much for your time. I hope we get the chance to talk again. I hope that it has been useful. There were some insights in here, but for sure, we all need to wait and see what will happen with positive thinking and good planning. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, everyone, and thank you for your attendance.
Thank you.